had this year. How have you seen that development thus far throughout 4 games?
Well, yeah, I'd have to agree. Well, it has been the best game to this point. You know, we got a bunch of young guys, and I think, you know, they're starting to gel and get used to playing with one another and understand what's expected and, you know, just maturing, to be honest with you. So I think they've done a good job to this point, and hopefully they'll continue to get better.
Is that a difficult balancing point to say, okay, I know these guys are super young, it's going to take them a while, but at the same time, we need them to be able to play now?
No question about it. Nobody cares about how young they are. All they care about is production. So, you know, my job is to have them prepared as best I can and have them ready to go. And, you know, I think that they're responding to the challenge. You know, they're studying their plays and knowing their opponents a little bit better. And I think it's turning into some production on Saturdays.
For some guys that are freshmen, in your experience, at what point during that first season, you know, how many games in do you typically see that light click?
Normally you're in about 6 or 7. You know, you get into about half the season, a little bit more than halfway through the season, and they start to get used to just the routine of, you know, balancing school and balancing practice and games and all the things that go into being a college football player. So, you know, usually about halfway through the year.
What's one thing that you find yourself harping on less now? I mean, some of you probably drill into them all preseason that you don't have to say as much now because they're probably getting it that you think about right now.
Well, the biggest thing is that just turning and running to the football. You know, they come here and they don't understand that concept. You know, they think if they play at the line of scrimmage that they've done their job. And, you know, at this level, guys have to be able to turn and run and make plays down the field, and just getting them, you know, their motor skills into to the point that they just automatically plant their foot and turn and run and go try to make the play downfield is probably the biggest thing.
Is knowing when to stop engagement a big part of that too? Because sometimes guys get early. I know that you like the first game as well as Tyler played. Sometimes he was locked up a little longer than he needed to be.
Yeah, you know, a lot of it is that they just don't have the skill set at that point, or haven't developed enough just to learn how to tear off blocks. You know, they get to the point of attacking. Those guys can hold pretty good. You know what I mean? So you just got to learn a few escape skills to be able to get off, and that's, you know, takes a little time to develop.
Virginia Tech's a team that's a big physical offensive line. What kind of challenges they present for your young guys on Saturday?
Well, every week's a challenge for us. You know, these guys haven't been down that road, and, you know, we got to continue to stop the run, and I hope that we can, you know, play with great pad level and come off the football and stop the run first, and then have an opportunity to get after quarterback if you stop the run.
Specifically, Dewan and Nazir, kind of what have they shown you through the first 4 games?
Well, they both have, you know, they're good athletes for you know, to be young and for their positions. But, you know, we're getting after the quarterback a little bit. Nazir has learned how to play the run better. Is the biggest thing, is that he's learned how to, you know, get his pass down and play a little bit more physical. He's gained some weight, and that's helped him in that department. And Dewan has continued to improve as a pass rusher.
And you've got some veteran guys in Ethan and Justin and Devontae. Have they been critical for you in terms of helping those younger guys?
Oh yeah, you know, Ethan has probably been pretty much the leader at this point as far as getting guys motivated on a day-to-day basis and getting through the day and the drills and all that stuff. And, you know, he plays hard. He played a real good football game against Clemson, and, you know, Justin is starting to take some of that leadership role as well. You know.
Tyler Powell, I know he's shown flashes, but he's also been banged up. Is that just kind of one of the pitfalls of?
Well, I mean, it's an ankle, and it's tough when a big guy gets an ankle injury. So, you know, he's been fighting through it. He's got a lot of toughness about him, and, you know, I'm just hoping that he gets well pretty soon here because we need him.
All the way down. Right. Ethan said last week that he challenged the guys. He made it a personal challenge to do better than what happened at East Carolina. Does an older guy have to be able to perform in order to back that challenge up? And did he do that on Saturday night?
No question. I mean, if it's all talk, nobody wants to listen. But when you back it up with some action, you know, people want to listen. So he's done that, and he did challenge him, and, you know, he did his part. And I think those guys lended their hands and did what they needed to do as well.
How much better was he at Clemson than he was at East Carolina? And that's
well, it was a different game, but a lot better because it fitted his style of play. You know, East Carolina was a no-huddle spread tempo team, and, you know, it was sometimes that he wasn't in there just because of those reasons. But when you slow it down and play, you know, methodical, you know, typical football, and you're running it, that's where he can excel, and he did a good job.
The snap distribution, how many guys are getting double-figure snaps in the interior?
All of them. Everybody that plays is getting double figures.
So they're all getting a lot of, plenty of stuff to get on film, plenty of stuff to learn from.
Yeah, well, I mean, the fewest have been 15 to 20, you know, and the uppers have been 50 to in that area. So
and you guys have had some moments. You had 3 sacks the other night.
Right.
Obviously, people look at 50 points and look at total yards and everything else, and there's other branches of the defense, but you guys had stuff to build on. Is that, with a young group, how much do you balance the difference of focusing on 3 sacks and 2.1 yards per carry as opposed to 50 points and 500 yards?
Well, it's really tough, but my thing has always been to focus on the next game. You know, that one's over. You know, let's improve, let's learn from what we did well, let's learn from what we didn't do well, and let's move on to the next one and hopefully put it all together.
Thanks.